Animation is a very precise art form. Every beat, every pose, every frame is intentional. Animators slave away for countless hours on storyboards and over computers. Character animation is one of the hardest things to master and one of the most important. When it comes to telling a story, an audience needs to relate to the characters as they are the drivers of the story, whether they be people, toasters, sausages, or emojis. Good characters and good character animation can make or break a story, especially when it comes to a story about anthropomorphic animals or buddy cop dramas. Luckily for us, there exists an amazing piece of character animation that exists in a story that asks one simple question. What if cops had feelings? Edgy jokes aside, Zootopia has some of the best 3D animation I've seen in a while. Zootopia is a film from 2016 about a young bunny, Judy Hopps, who defies the odds placed upon her by society and becomes the first rabbit to join the police force. She is joined by her sidekick, Nick Wilde, a con artist fox who evades taxes and by selling popsicles and is thus blackmailed into helping Judy crack the case of why predators around the city are becoming savage. But all is not as it appears. The film is praised for its depiction of class struggle and racial injustice, two hot-button topics in our current day, and how it brings up the dynamics of oppression. The scene I'm going to be looking at is the one right after the press conference scene, where Judy accidentally implies that predators are inherently savage and Nick calls her out on it. It is also at the end of the second act, which makes it a pivotal scene narratively speaking. Judy and Nick no longer being friends pushes the story into its darkest moments, and the predators are soon discriminated against even more harshly, and it's all Judy's fault. It also proves to show Judy is just as flawed and bigoted as the many animals she fought against earlier in the movie to get where she is, despite being a small bunny. I chose to analyze this scene as it shows the emotions and depths of the characters and develops them further, as well as incorporating facets of animation needed to connect with the audience.
That went so fast, I didn't get a chance to mention you or say anything about how we...
Oh, I think you said plenty.
What do you mean?
Clearly there's a biological component? These predators may be reverting back to their primitive, savage ways? Are you serious?
I just stated the facts of the case. I mean, it's not like a bunny could go savage.
Right, but a fox could, huh?
Nick, stop it. You're not like them.
Oh, there's a them now.
You know what I mean. You're not that kind of predator.
The kind that needs to be muscled? The kind that makes you think you need to carry around fox repellent? Yeah, don't think I didn't notice that little item the first time we met. So, let me ask you a question. Are you afraid of me? Do you think I might go nuts? You think I might go savage? You think I might try to eat you? I knew it. Just when I thought somebody actually believed in me, huh? Probably best if you don't have a predator as a partner.
Nick! Nick!
Officer Hawk!
Just consider the line, "It's not like a bunny could go savage." Judy explains her reasonings for all her bigoted comments, and there's at least a small amount of justification when you consider her past. After all, she grew up in a small country town, and her only interactions with predators before moving to Zootopia was with her childhood bully, Gideon. Not to mention, she was also discriminated against for being a smaller animal than the rest of the police force, which shows that everyone's a little bit racist sometimes, even if they're otherwise marginalized. Her body language in this scene is also important. She's smiling sheepishly and shrugging just to diffuse the situation. In response, Nick looks angrily and offended. Rightfully so, since he was ostracized as a child for being a predator. The expressions are easy to read and, as a result, easy to relate to. Nick is a very relatable character to me specifically, and I'm sure other people as well. The feeling of discovering that someone new you were just opening up to views you with the same biases as the rest of the world is absolutely crushing. Seeing Nick's expressions go through anger to disbelief to plain old sadness is extremely well done and, as a result, relatable. All of Judy's attempts to diffuse the situation just makes things worse. Even while explaining that she doesn't view Nick as capable of being savage, he points out her hypocrisy. and asks her if he's the kind of predator that makes Judy think she needs to carry around fox repellent. This beat is also highlighted by an impressive piece of composition. Nick is shown with a strong line of action, arching directly towards Judy, leaning down to face her, and Judy is shown looking directly at the fox repellent, making such a small and barely visible accessory on her belt the focal point of the frame. Then again, Disney having a mastery of staging is par for the course. They invented the 12 principles of animation, after all. The expressions during the next 30 seconds are also impressive, from the anger Nick shows towards Judy when asking if she was afraid he'd eat her, to his look of absolute betrayal and depression when she reacts in fear. This is a great example of character animation and how skillfully the mood transition is played. From the wrinkles in his muzzle as he leans down to scare Judy and prove his point, to the subtle lowering of his ears when she unsheathes the fox repellent and the shrug he makes right before he reaches for his police force application, the entire sequence is animated smoothly. That said, it's important to note Judy's reactions too. Her animation isn't as dynamic, but that's because she's in shock and trying to defuse the situation. However, when Nick scares her, the fear on her face is very much obvious. And as he says, just as I thought somebody actually believed in me, huh? She very quickly goes to sadness, like she's about to apologize. Her ears immediately flop down as she shakes her head and makes a physical attempt to reach out to him, even looking like she's about to say sorry, but Nick cuts her off before she even utters a word. Just these 2 seconds of animation convey so much without a word even being said. By the end of the scene, Nick walks off in anger, while Judy looks on in horror and guilt before trying to catch up with him, only to be stopped by the reporters. All in all, this scene is only a minute long, but it contains such masterful character animation that you almost completely forget that Nick and Judy are animal cops caught in a tale of political intrigue. The animation is smooth, relatable, and really lets the audience see their personalities and struggles. I wouldn't go as far as to say it's emblematic of the human condition, but I do have to admit it's the reason why I'm a furry.